So we're making a circular hat. So we need 2 circles, 2 pieces of material. One is the main piece and one is for the lining. And the piece there for the bow. Now I'm showing how to make the one the baby is wearing. It's 14.5 inches wide and 14.5 inches across. So it's 14.5 by 14.5. Now for any cap, what you do is you take the head circumference and you add on 4 inches or up to 8 inches. For the baby, I've added on about 3 inches. It says head circumference and add on 3 inches. Now I folded the paper into 4 and I'm just marking off now half of the measurement that I just taken. It says half of 4.5. Because now I want a circle, and that's why I'm doing this. Now for the adult, you can add up to 8 inches on top of the head circumference. It depends on how voluminous you want it. Okay, so you can add up to 8 inches. You can add 6 inches, 7 inches, 8 inches. So this is a circle now, and this is what we're going to be using now to make that cap. Now the one that the adult model is wearing, I have added 4 inches on top of the head circumference. And this is what it looks like. Now I'm measuring now 3/8 of an inch. Now this is where I'm going to be making a stitch around the whole circumference. So 3/8 of an inch is a sewing allowance. So I'm going to be stitching along there, and I'm going to be leaving out about 2 inches for 2 inches for the opening. That part I'm going to be using to turn the cap over. So I'm just running a long stitch around it now. That's the opening there. So when I'm ready to turn the cap over. I'm just trimming off the excess from around it. I'm making some cuts all the way around it so it can be easily turned over and it can be easily flattened out. So I've stitched it. That's the opening, and I'm gonna now flip it over on the right side. Now I'm using my fingers not to just flatten out the edges. You can use your iron if you wish, just to make it flat. So I've marked around it now because I'm going to be running another stitch, an inner stitch all the way around it, this time without the opening. So I'm doing this now to make the elastic casing. Now this elastic is a half an inch wide. So you have to know how to what width to make your casing. Now this is for the bow. So I'm going to be stitching the top there just to close off the two ends. So I've stitched around it, so the casing is now made. I've run a stitch through the middle of the bow, so I'm going to just pull it tight. Just gathering it between my fingers. Then I'm just going to be running a little stitch in the middle just to keep it in place, and then I'm going to tie it. So now I'm going to be inserting the elastic through the opening and running it through the whole casing. Now the elastic should be about 3 inches less than the head circumference to make it tight enough but not too tight. It must be comfortable for you to sleep in. So just attaching the bow now to the hat, and I'm attaching it to the area where I've left the opening, or where I've closed off the opening. So the hat or the cap is complete. Thanks for watching. Now don't forget now to subscribe. Leave your comment below. Tell me what you think. And see you in my next one. Bye.